Everybody, hello, hello. Let me take a sip out of my styrofoam cup, my Emo's pizza. You know what I'm saying? This is a classic St. Louis brand right here. Is what we got going on. Emo's pizza. Go ahead and let me take a sip. But some good old H2O. You know what I mean? Out of my Emo's cup. But yes, everybody. I know you've been on the lookout for the next get rich quick scheme. I know you've been on the lookout for something valuable to invest your hard earned coins in. And luckily for you, luckily for everybody, we got the new Trump NFTs. So, get your savings ready. Anything that you had in your savings account, get ready to go ahead and drop it all on these Trump NFTs. We got triple I, triple I. What's going on? How you doing today? I'm doing good. I am well. It is hot again today. Yesterday I went for a run outside. I like to run in the heat, and it's looking like it's pretty much the same. It's 98 degrees outside. It's been 99, 98 degrees all day, and all yesterday in St. Louis. What's the weather like tomorrow? Hold on, let me see. Not quite as warm. It's gonna get up to. It looked like it's gonna get up to about 92 degrees tomorrow, which is still very hot, but not as hot as 98, 99. Damn, it's warm outside. But yes, everything is going well. Now, we're gonna get to these NFTs in a sec. Oh, we got Fritza Queen, we got Alonzo Queen Fritza. Thank you so much. First of all, for everything. I'm gonna have to call you. We're gonna have to talk. I'm gonna have to give you a call sometime in the next couple of days. We'll just, you know what I'm saying, shoot the shits and catch up. I definitely we need to do that. Thank you so much, Queen Fritza, for 11 months of membership. Thank you for your belief in me, for your support. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for just being who you are. It truly means a lot. It means more than you realize. So thank you. Hold on, you got it's 83 degrees here. Where you? Oh, it's 83 degrees. Yeah, I see. I like Stoned Assassin. I like the heat. I like working out in the heat or like going swimming in the heat, but just being in the heat for no reason. Nah, I'm not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely not a big fan of that. If I'm gonna be sweating, then I need to be doing some athletic or mowing the lawn or something like that. Otherwise, it's not worth it. But yes, we're gonna get to these Trump NFTs in a minute. Get your wallets ready. Get ready to invest. Get ready to get rich because I know that you've been waiting. But first, let's see what we got. Let me go ahead and open this up because I mean, it's I like the Republican Party is in complete denial of what's going on. I mean, that's not new. They've been in denial for weeks, ever since Kamala Harris stepped into the race, and the data has been overwhelming in terms of the election being swung in the other direction. And Republicans are doing everything they can to avoid that truth. You've definitely had people go out in the media and say, "Hey, Trump, please turn this around. Stop being an asshole, stop being a douchebag, start talking about policy." And now they're kind of trying to play it off like, well, matter of fact, we'll pull this up now. Like just an example of Republican cope, how they're just trying to convince their audience um that Donald Trump is doing better than he is. And I don't know if they're doing that because they feel like it's gonna, boost his campaign, or if it's a mixture of they just want to make Trump happy so that he doesn't call in or put out a million posts about them on Truth Social. You know what I'm saying? But like it's really not helping the cause, their cause. It really isn't. Like for instance, here, Carl Rove, he's one of the people who has been out trying to raise the alarm to tell Trump to get focused. Now, the issue with this assessment of, how it's, Carl Rose saying that she's doing nowhere near as well as Biden or Hillary Clinton at this point, is that this assessment is completely wrong and he knows it. Now, it's good news for us because if you want to lull, if Republicans want to lull their base to sleep, then go ahead. That'll just make it easier for Kamala to win. But the problem with this is that Kamala's been running for president for 1 month. And so her polling averages are a combination of when she was vice president and people weren't thinking about her as running for president, and the last 4 or 5 weeks of polling since she entered the race. What's more important are the trends that we've seen in the swing states and just the national polls that have come out where she's consistently up by 6 points, 7 points, 8 points, 11 points in this poll, 5 points in that poll. Like we're really not seeing any polls come out is where Kamala's up by less than 3. Like that's just not happening. In like, poll after poll after poll after poll after poll, and she's up by 3 to 11 points. So talk again now. That's the reality, and Karl Rove absolutely knows that. But again, it's like this really is not gonna help your base win, convincing them that actually she's doing worse because it's just not true. Again, not even just from the polling metrics, but also when you look at how much money is being raised, how many of those dollars came and are coming from people who have not given money to Joe Biden. When you look at, bro, Kamala Harris has 400,000 volunteers around the country knocking on doors, making phone calls. She's talking about her campaign and her policies to people face to face, which again, I think that's an important takeaway for anybody who's involved in politics. That at the end of the day, what's most important is your ground game, actually shaking these people's hands and listening to them. And clearly, it's paying off, right? It's clearly working. Now, what she actually does when she becomes president has yet to be seen because we haven't crossed that we haven't crossed that threshold yet. But again, Republicans are doing themselves no favors by pretend. Oh well, actually, Hillary Clinton, like really, Karl Rove. So it's just not accurate. Do I think Kamala can win Pennsylvania? I think she can. I don't know if she will, but yes, I definitely think she can. And at the rate things are going, it's looking like the Trump campaign is just going to continue to dampen their chances everywhere. Because at this point, Kamala and Tim Walz have multiple paths to victory. And with each passing day, Donald Trump is having fewer and fewer sure paths to victory. So yeah, I think she can. We'll see what's up. Like I don't think should I don't like states like Texas or Florida, and probably not. Probably definitely not Texas, but we'll see. Because again, it's like Trump and Vance are doing everything they can to just hurt their chances. But again, like you see videos like this, and it's like, I don't, who is this helping? This is not helping Republicans because this is
All right, Bulldogs.
this is just not an accurate assessment of what's going on, and Karl Rove knows it.
Go. Let's bring in Fox News contributor Karl Rove. Morning, Karl. You know the Georgia Bulldogs.
Morning.
Listen, Democratic strategist to Fox News Digital, a warning to the Harris polling and the media silence says this: if the polling errors are anywhere close to what they were in 2016 and 2020, then Trump is in the lead right now. The idea that Harris doesn't have to specify policy.
Like this is the biggest cope ever. This is such ridiculous cope. If the polling errors are anywhere close to what they were in 2016 and 2020, then Trump is in the lead right now. Like, what do you mean if? Like, what does that even mean? This is a hope and a wish. This is not reality. Because again, in 1 month, Kamala has completely swung the election in the other direction. So he's going to use real clear politics, rather. I'm sorry. Real Clear Politics polling average, which is just one of them. And again, you look at 538. She's still up in all of these, but what's more important is all of the polls, the national averages, and the swing states. She's up by 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, like all of them. So again, it's like, who are you really saying this for? This is only making it more likely that Trump is going to lose by pretending that he's doing better than he is. Like this is just such a BS. And this is from a Democratic strategist. But again, it's like I like so many people throughout this election cycle are exposing themselves to just not be good at their jobs at all. So many just terrible takes on what's happening. And again, this is fine coming from a Democratic strategist. If you're like, all right, come on, guys, keep on going, because that's what this is. But they're playing this to Fox News. Like, how is this helping you guys?
First, doesn't have to specify policy or go before the news media is a strategy born of conceit and foolhardiness and will ultimately backfire. Julian Epstein, what do you make of that?
Well, I think they're absolutely right. She needs to be more specific. Let's not be critical of her by saying she has to have a Democrat Congress and a Democrat Senate in order to get these things done, because the same can be said for Donald Trump. He has to have a Republican Senate and a Republican House to get everything done. But people want to know where you're coming from, and they want to know enough about the specifics to get their hands around it. But the other point about polling,
So again, like what Karl Rove just said, that can definitely be legitimate in terms of like how someone can switch up their campaign, how somebody may be able to better address things. But what he's about to get into is it's just not, it's just la la land bullshit. Like you're really pretending like her polling average in real clear politics isn't basically a year and a half of her being vice president to the last month of her running for president. Like these people are so bad at this shit.
Possible. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I think let's put this in perspective. On this day in 2020, Joe Biden was up 7.1% above Donald Trump in the Real Clear Politics.
Yes, again, who is this helping? He was up by that much because he was running for 2 years. He had a full campaign to go on. So like again, it's like, who is this helping? Keep it up. Keep doing this. Keep doing this, because this is just going to make it easier for Kamala to win.
Average. And at this point in 2016, Hillary Clinton was up 6.3. And as you remember, the election.
Like again, with her polling the way that she is, by the time the election comes around, if it doesn't stop, she's going to be up by the same margins. And they know it. Like they know it. It's really amazing. And look, right underneath it, it says 400,000 volunteers. So they're pretending like all of this shit isn't happening.
Came down to
and again, Hillary Clinton is horrible at campaigning. So this is just complete nonsense that is not helping them. It's helping us, but it ain't helping them.
A handful of votes in a handful of states. And today, in the Real Clear Politics average, Harris is up over Trump by 1.5 in the RCP average and 3.5 in the 538.com.
So, and guess what, the 538 in their current simulations today, Kamala wins like 58% versus Trump's 41%. So like it doesn't matter. This is one of the biggest copes I've ever seen in my life when it comes to politics, because all the data is still saying Trump is really not in a good position. And it's like, don't worry, guys. And again, Karl Rove knows better than this, but I just wanted to show a small example of how they really just cannot accept the position that they're in. They really can't. And their hope is whenever Kamala does does an interview that, oh, she's not going to be able to answer questions, and then everyone's going to abandon ship. But that's not going to happen. I mean, like what I really suspect would happen whenever, because honestly, Kamala can do an interview whenever the hell she feels like it, because that is not important to voters. 400,000 volunteers on the ground, knocking on doors, making phone calls and talking to people face to face. That is campaigning. That's clearly working. Look, I work in the media. I know how this shit works. The reason why CNN and MSNBC and Fox and people like Bill Maher and all these people are saying, oh, she has to do an interview, is because they want her on their show. They want her on their show because she's going to provide a lot of ratings. She's going to provide a lot of views. Like, so whenever she does an interview, she'll do it when she feels like it, and it's going to go just fine. Like it's going to go fine, and it'll probably boost her even more. So again, this is not a situation of do I think she should do an interview right now or not. This is a situation of her strategy is winning and she can do whatever she feels like. That's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how shit works. And whenever she does do an interview, it'll go just fine. Like I think it's silly for anybody to think, oh, she's gonna bomb the interview. Like, why would that happen? Like, that's not gonna happen. If whenever she does an interview, she could do it halfway decent and not much would change. Because again, on the other side, you got Donald Trump, who can't stop shooting himself in the foot on a daily basis. So the amount of cope is just amazing. Like, y'all really think that, oh, as soon as she does an interview, it's over. Like, no, that's not how this shit's gonna go. If y'all had halfway of a decent campaign, you wouldn't be in this situation. You just wouldn't be. So again, like for instance, like like people in the media. Here we got Bill Maher. Oh, she's passing up on something. She's really got to do this. I speak to the exact voter she needs. No, everyone, everyone who watches your show is already going to vote for Kamala Harris. People who watch Bill Maher are establishment Democrats for the most part, and people who are somewhere in the center and probably lean more to the left. Like that's who watches your show. But you see how I mean. You see what I'm saying about at the end of the day, like all of it's really just people in the media saying Kamala has to do interviews. Like, no, y'all just want her to do interviews. So again, this is not a matter of if I think or anyone thinks she should. Clearly, voters don't give a damn because she got all these people volunteering for her. She got all this money raised, and she is kicking Trump's ass in the polls. She still isn't done going up in the polls. Like that hasn't stopped. So it's just again, I work in the media, so I know how this works. And as far as I can tell, the only people who are really pretending like this is a huge, massive issue for her campaign are people who work in the media. You know what I mean? Like, oh, are you sure, Bill, that you just don't want to sit down with her? Because again, here's the reality right here. I'm about to show you the reality. This is why they want her to sit down and do an interview right here. Because ratings. Kamala Harris drives media rating surge as Trump takes a back seat. Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to get her going, and she'll do it when she feels like it. She'll do it. Again, whatever she's doing, it is clearly working. But yeah, that's really what this is about at the end of the day. Because what really matters, um, is what she does after she becomes president because she's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not in office. Well, she's a vice president, but like she's not the president. She's not the person making decisions. The vice president really doesn't do that much unless you Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney basically ran the damn country. Um, but yeah, so that's really the test. That's really what matters. It's what are you going to actually do? And we just won't know that until she gets in there. But yeah, it's these people in the media, it's again, it's whatever. Like I'm not upset with them for it, but it's like you all are manufacturing outrage that clearly does not exist. Um, but yeah, so let's see what he has to say.
Perhaps as in detail as you think I do. I do not. But I have a lot of guests, and
No,
there's a lot
cool.
of day, and there's a
You've
lot
had
of pods.
1,000 guests. I'm
I
just,
know,
you know.
but I think I like her a lot.
Exactly, Margarita. That and that's why her campaign is doing well. Again, the true testament will be when she gets in office, what will she do? But that's why her campaign is doing well. It's because she is knocking on doors, making phone calls, and at the events that she's doing, she's talking to these people. Like I don't know if you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff when she not just the rallies, but all the events that she does. Like she's really talking to people. In fact, Kamala Harris is a lot more personable than a lot of people realize. And again, that doesn't have to do with policy or what she'll actually do. It just has to do with her ability to be social and likable and to have people believe in her. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to make her look like, oh, she's just a cackling fool. But the more you see it, the more you're like, oh, she seems like a pretty cool person. You know what I'm saying? So that's just them pretending. That he just really wants her on the show.
But the bigger issue is the left and their ability.
Thank you, Virginia, for the $5 super chat. And you say you don't think she should do an interview until after the first debate. Again, I think she'll probably likely do it around that time. When she does it, she'll do it'll be the perfect time. And again, like it, I don't I don't see any legitimacy in the thought that she's going to bomb the interview or she's going to do poorly. Why would that happen? I don't know why people think that that would happen. But yeah, she'll do it later. But the reality is when you're up by 3 to 11 points in all the polls and you're raising more money, you have hundreds more offices opened up around the country, you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do what you want when you're up by 20 points, when you're up by 30 points. I'm using a sports analogy because obviously she's not up by that much. But when you're, when the basketball team is up by 50 points, the losing team, they can do what they want. They're winning. So again, just the Republican cope is amazing to watch. But don't like, again, Bill Maher, we don't even need to watch the rest of that. But Bill Maher sitting up here like, oh, she's missing out. Like, no, you're missing out. Because whoever she does sit down with, I mean, bro, that interview is gonna get so many, it's gonna get ridiculous amount of viewership. It's going to get so many views. But yeah, nah, we gonna save the Trump NFTs for a little bit. We're gonna save that because that's definitely some of the best part of the show today. Again, cope, more coping right here. What Trump's saying. Why do we need an election since he's leading in the polls? Like, dude, you're not leading in the polls, man. And he says that on the campaign trail. I know y'all heard when he called into Fox and he was like, she's not having success. I'm having success. Like, dude, what are you talking about? You're not having success. You're going down, 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 down about as fast as anybody possibly could go down. That's what's happening to you. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Michael. Yeah, exactly. It's just that's all it is, and I get it. It's the business. It drives the business. Basically, it's just the media saying, "Please, Kamala, come talk to us." But what she's doing, that why it's working, is she's knocking on doors. She's making phone calls. She's talking to people, not just her, but Tim Walz and her whole campaign. That's what they're doing. We got Aaron in the building. What's going on? How you doing? But yeah, so there's really not much more to say about that. She'll likely do an interview sometime after the September 10th, which look, I don't think Trump is gonna debate her. I think he's gonna pull out of that shit, man, because he's not gonna do well and he knows it. Donald Trump is a very stupid and childish man. And not only that, but he's completely losing his mind right now. His life is spiraling down the toilet, down the drain. I don't think he's going to debate her. I mean, he's already telegraphing to the world that he's not going to do it. Where is George Slapadopoulos? Why should I was watching ABC News this morning and they had the failed, why should I do it there? Is Donna Brazil going to cheat? Like, again, warm drink time. I need me that warm drink. I also got this little candle thing going over here, and the atmosphere is becoming a bit spicy. And it's like the candle I'm using. It's like I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's like they used it during the Victorian age. But it's like it's scented alcohol with like a wick, and it kind of goes into the air. So the scented alcohol is causing me to choke up a little bit, along with Donald Trump's voice. Shout out to Emo's Pizza. You know what? I'm gonna have to get Emo's to sponsor me at some point. I'm not big enough yet, but at some point, Emo is gonna have to sponsor me. We'll work on that. We're definitely gonna work on that. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it. Because he's really in a lose-lose situation. If he does do the debate, he's gonna make a complete fool of himself. He's going to. I mean, that's gonna happen. If he does the debate, he's gonna make a complete clown of himself. If he doesn't do the debate, he'll be called a coward. But at least if he doesn't do the debate, he doesn't have to suffer the public embarrassment of getting his ass handed to him by a black woman. That's he does not want to do it, but we'll see. But I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to chicken out. Again, the delusion with Republicans. Let's pretend Karl Rove. Well, at this point in the election, Hillary Clinton and Biden were up more. Like, well, how about you look at all the other polls? No, you're trying to lull your base to sleep. Keep it up because it's only going to make you lose even more. Like, there's just no way to pretend like Donald Trump is in a good position. None. Like, nobody who's being the least bit objective. And again, this has nothing to do with liking or disliking Kamala Harris. It just has to do with what's really going on. Oh, we got Mike Boy in the building on the running trail. Thank you, my brother, for tuning in while you out there climbing, making them steps, handling pure business, nothing but pure business. You know what I'm saying? Rock solid business. My brother, my man. Thank you for joining. But yeah, again, this has nothing to do with liking or disliking Kamala or believing in her or not. This has to do with the Republican Party being in complete denial of what's happening. And then this dude talking about why should we have an election when he's leading in the polls? Since when has that ever happened? What is that? What are you talking about? And again, you're not leading in the polls. Like, it's so ridiculous. We got Lord of Bananas. My man, what's going on? That still remains to be. That's still Lord of Bananas is definitely one of the best names ever. Yeah, I can't steal it. I can't steal it because it's too good. Good to have you here, man. But yeah, during a Friday night press conference, former President Donald Trump admitted to questioning his staff about the necessity of an election because he's leading in the polls. Like, dude, what? Like, this, he is complete. He's lost it. He is completely out of his mind. Like, what? Huh? And then they're the ones who are always talking about voter fraud and shit. You go from voter fraud to, oh, let's just skip the election. During the news conference, Trump was also asked about media criticism over his personal attacks on the Democratic ticket. He responded by claiming he was entitled to He was entitled to criticize Vice President Harris, which I guess he is. He is. He can do what he wants. He said, I'm very angry at her that she'd weaponized the justice system against me and other people. Very angry at her. I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. He is upset. He is not happy that he's having to face repercussions for his actions. The former president continued, I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence, and I think she'll be a terrible president. And Donald Trump is, one of the things that makes him so dangerous but hilarious is he's so stupid. Donald Trump is so dumb. He's so dumb. So it's always rich to hear him project and talk about other people being stupid. Like when he just got in trouble. This dude just got in trouble. Well, not like legally, but y'all remember when he was talking about the Medal of Honor and how that's not really that great because people who get that either die or get shot up. They no longer look like they're straight out of central casting. And then, like a few days ago, he's sitting up with somebody talking about the generals that he had in his administration. They were very stupid people. Milley was stupid. The endless projection, And again, you go from he's not thinking about anything that he has to do. You just got criticized for being, disrespecting people in the military, often who give their lives. And then you go, oh, General Milley, he's just stupid. All my generals in my cabinet, if you disagree with me, you're an idiot. No, bro, you are an idiot. Yes, exactly. That's exactly how he put it. The medal of losers. He's the most hilarious man in America. If only he never became president. Hold on, I got to put this candle out real quick. If only he never became president. And honestly, I guess it makes sense that you have exactly. I like people who don't get captured. Dude, this dude was a prisoner of war and was like, nah, I'm not gonna leave until my brothers in arms can leave with me. I don't care what you think about John McCain. That's some gangster shit. You feel me? My man's had an opportunity to leave, and he was like, nah, I'm not leaving my brothers behind. I mean, bro, that is, how can you not respect that? How? That's beyond politics. That's just caring about your fellow man. That is what that is. How the fuck do you hate on that? You didn't even go to war. Again, Ain't none of us got no love for John McCain's politics, but bro, you cannot hate on that. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, it makes sense that now you got people, at pretending like Kamala's actually not polling that well against Trump because I mean, what else can they do at this point? They've already tried. They have already publicly begged Trump to get it together. He's not doing it. So, I mean, what else can they really do besides pretend like reality isn't what it is? I don't know because they're not gonna listen to him. Donald Trump ain't gonna listen to nobody. He just gonna do what he wants. You know what I mean? Like it's just yes, again, he is very dangerous, and that's why we can't let him in office. But if we're just talking about Donald Trump being just a regular guy, like if man, look, I always say this: if Donald Trump, if Hillary Clinton would have actually, went to Wisconsin and campaigned and done a decent job on the trail, she would have beat him. If that happened, which I think he had to have expected, I don't think he really thought he was going to win. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But he just has never struck me as a person who really is interested, not let alone being president. He's not interested in politics. He's not a curious person. He's just not. He's a charlatan and a showman. All he cares about is crowds adoring him. That is what Donald Trump cares about. So I say all that to say, if he never would have became president, he would have, man, he would be lighting up the world right now as the greatest what if in history. What if I had one? He wouldn't be in none of this situation. He would not be facing any of this. His businesses probably wouldn't even be have gone down had he not put himself in such a public position. Becoming president really destroyed his life. It isn't done yet, but that's about some of the worst shit he ever decided to do was actually go through with it. But yeah, my man's talking about some why do an election? I'm up in the polls. Like, bro, even if you were leading in the polls, what are you talking about? What is that? Huh? All right, we got Carrie. Hold on. Let's see. Did y'all see Carrie Lake on stage? I gotta pull this up. She was on stage and they was like, please get off the stage. Hold on, I got a bunch of stuff pulled up. Where is it? Where is it, damn it? Before we get into Senate and House races and ballot measures, we got a ballot tracker that we gonna check out. Carrie Lake, where are you? Show yourself, Carrie Lake. Um, well, before we get to that video, oh no, see, I'm the type of person that like once I'm trying to do something, I can't stop until it happens. So now I'm like wasting y'all's time. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to find this shit. Okay, here we go. I found it. I found it. I'm no longer wasting your time. Fret not. Don't stress yourselves out. Now we got, I don't know if y'all see this. Hold up. Yeah, you can't argue with stupid. You really can't. You just gotta walk the other way. You really do. Now this was funny. You're seeing that Carrie Lake on stage right there. Please get off the stage. Trump waiting. You're taking too much of the spotlight, Carrie Lake. It's me time. It's Donald Trump time. They said, please get off the stage. All right, let's stick on Carrie Lake while we're here. While we're at it, let's go ahead and stay with Carrie Lake, who um it seems is definitely not gonna win the election for Senate. This is not good news for her right here. Arizona's pro-Trump police union endorses Carrie Lake's Democratic rival. It was like, nah. The largest law enforcement association in Arizona on Monday endorsed Rep. Ruben Gallego in the state's race for the U.S. Senate, a move that meant snubbing MAGA diehard Carrie Lake. The Arizona Police Association is an umbrella organization that represents more than 12,000 law enforcement officers across more than 50 across oh, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm tripping today. Across more than 50 state agencies. Its announcement signals a shift from 2022 when it gave its full-throated support to Lake's God damn, I can't read today. Lake's ultimately unsuccessful gubernatorial campaign. Gallego, a Marine combat veteran and ardent progressive, is he? Uh, Is he an ardent progressive? I don't know. Has continually fought for robust, increased funding for America's law enforcement and specifically Arizona law enforcement, the APA said in a statement. It praised the congressman for voting to secure more than $168 billion in police funding and championing legislation to protect officers and their families, including bills that would provide de-escalation training and mental health sources. I don't know that much about Ruben Gallego. I'm sure he's left leaning, but this doesn't seem like a very ardent progressive thing to me. But I guess I'll just have to look more into him. Quote, the APA does not take our endorsements lightly. We recognize the importance of having a U.S. senator that can bring people together to improve society for all. The statement quoted Justin Harris, the associate's president. Harris stood alongside Donald Trump just 3 days ago, offering him the association's endorsement at his Friday rally in Glendale. Quote, it is clear who supports law enforcement, law and order, and that's President Trump, Harris said. Even as he was being urged to hurry up and finish by the former president. Oh yeah, he was like, you gotta go. I remember that video. It's like, you gotta go, get off the stage. You're taking too much of the shine away from me. It's my turn. Thank you very much, Trump said as Harris ceded the podium. Wow, that was a great endorsement. It means a lot. But yeah, they said, nah, we not gonna back Kerry Lake. We just gonna go ahead and back Gallego. We will back Gallego. Hold on, let me see. I think I have something else from Kerry Lake. Let me double check. If not, we will just continue forward. Trump's former national what is this? Whatever. We don't really need to watch that. Watch that video. It's not very important. Some interview talking about Trump with Afghanistan or whatever, but we don't really need to watch that. Some funny stuff from Ann Coulter. Extreme irony from Ann Coulter coming your way momentarily. So stay up to date with that. Did y'all see this? You probably did, because y'all pay very, very close attention to politics. And this is pretty normal custom rhetoric at this point. Again, man, if y'all thought that Republicans lost their minds having to deal with a black president, wait till they got to deal with a black woman president, a black Indian woman president. Oh my, they are not going to be able to handle it. But did you see this? Hold on, let's see. Hold on, let me pull this up. We got, hold up. My bad, y'all. I got this screen slow right here.
It's been 3 years since Kamala boasted about being the, quote, last person in the room when Joe Biden decided to go ahead with the Afghanistan withdrawal. Jesse, people consider you to be the last person in the room because that's because everybody keeps trying to ditch you.
Yeah, they just left. Right. But you understand the reference, Greg.
Yes.
Is that she was somehow involved in the decision, and it was.
Speaking of, yeah, that'll definitely the situation in Gaza will be an immediate test for Kamala's campaign. There are a lot of other issues that will be a test, but this is going to be something that'll be that Kamala Harris is going to have to do something to rather significant pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, she's going to have to get on that ASAP.
Her wise guidance that he was relying upon. Listen, she was the last in the room in Afghanistan. She was the border czar, and she was the deciding vote on trillions of inflationary spending. On those three most popular Joe Biden items, she's basically like a conjoined twin. You cannot separate the two. And let's talk about foreign policy. What is her foreign policy? And this is where the president has his most impact. You have a lot of room to maneuver there as commander-in-chief. We don't know who she is. We don't know what she believes. She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. Right now,
Jesse
Whoa,
Waters.
Jesse, I don't like that.
figuratively,
Take
again,
it back.
have their way with her, control her, not in a sexual way.
They can't help themselves. Like, they really can't help themselves. I mean, it's Jesse Waters, but like this, all of this is a reflection on the Trump campaign. Every single last drop of it. And you know, you're just giving everyone fodder for disliking everything that Republicans stand for. Obviously, you know, the Republican base is still what it is, but it's just like y'all got people like this on the front lines to where even Janine Pirro was like, come on, man. I say, don't you think that's a little much? Not much else to say about that, just because it's, you know, it's Jesse Waters. But still, these people can't help themselves. Like, they absolutely cannot help themselves. I'm sure that y'all have seen Tulsi Gabbard, you know, dip her toe even deeper into the insane pool. Tulsi, why? For what? I mean, I don't really get how. I don't say get how. Rather, I don't understand why Tulsi Gabbard did this to herself. You know, obviously you're a fraud in terms of anything that you stand for. But like, how do you go from being considered a progressive to endorsing Donald Trump? Like, you've completely destroyed your career. You could have, you know, like, what are you doing? Nothing about this makes sense. It's not like she's completely stunned at anything that she can do. But yeah, this was this was ridiculous. And again, this is coming from somebody. I criticize the progressive movement all the time because I want to do better. But you know, I'm never, no matter what happens, I'm never going to go from I'm a progressive to all of a sudden like, well, you know what? Now I'm just totally in favor of right-wing policies. Like, that's not going to happen. It just won't. Because, you know, like, it's people who do this never really believed in anything at all. You know, like, because no matter what issues I have with the progressive movement and how it handles stuff from time to time, that doesn't change the fact that I want healthcare and education to be more affordable and wages to go up and union membership to be stronger and there to be less wars, less weapon sales. Like, you know, like, how do you go from wanting things like that to just like, well, you know, actually immigrants kind of suck and they're the problem for everything, and social security should be done away with, and fuck your kids. You know, I just, how do you go from one to the other like that? It just, I don't get it unless you're a complete fraud. But yeah.
I mean what I say when I share with you that I know that President Trump understands the grave responsibility that a president and commander-in-chief bears.
Like, I know that Donald Trump understands the responsibility. He understands the responsibility of what it means to be commander in chief. Like, Tulsi, you don't believe that. You don't. And she never needed to do this. You never needed to do this for a position of power. You already had a position of power. You were in the House. You were a member of the House. And even if you didn't win an election going forward, you still, like, you could have had so much more of a bright path ahead of you. But now you just completely stunted it. But no, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. We got to hear that one more time.
Share with you that I know that President Trump understands the grave responsibility that a president and commander-in-chief bears for every single one of our lives.
And for all of our
You're
lives.
a soldier, you're an airman, a Marine, sailor, or a coastie. He keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes.
He keeps us in his
We
heart.
saw this through his first term in the
She
presidency.
said he keeps us in his heart with every decision that he makes. Like, bro, like, huh? This dude disbanded the response system for a pandemic and then pretended like it wasn't a thing. But he has our best interest in mind. This dude is talking to suspend the Constitution so that I can stay in office. But he has, like, Tulsi, come on. And Tulsi's not, she's not stupid, you know, like, she's smart enough to know better, but she just doesn't care.
Presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. He exercised the
What about the increased drone strikes? Again, no matter whether, I mean, look, the American military industrial complex is in a lot of ways an entity of its own. Whether a Republican or a Democrat's in there, the American military gonna do what it does. Not, obviously, the commander in chief does have sway, but like you can't. The president doesn't really have that much of an ability to just all of you do what I want. Like you're gonna get a lot of pushback on stuff. But for her to sit here and say this is just unbelievable.
courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy,
Yes,
having the courage to meet with adversaries,
exactly.
dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace, seeing war as a last resort. The truth is, as we
My button is bigger than yours, Donald Trump. Yeah.
head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris. In fact, the opposite is true, and we're living through this reality today as this administration has us facing multiple wars on multiple fronts and regions around the world,
But
and closer to the brink of nuclear.
again, like she's sitting here talking about, we're in multiple wars like this just happened. like that's something new. A large reason why the United States is as powerful as it is because we will blow your ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of the reason why it's as powerful as it is. This administration has us facing a lot of wars. Like, no, Tulsi, it doesn't matter what administration is in. You're just we're at war, which is part of the issue. That's part of the problem. Oh man. Hold on, what is this? Okay, no, we don't. I got some stuff pulled up from RFK talking about, well, because him and Tulsi have been added to Trump's potential transition team. RFK is a clown, man. He really is. Like it's something up with him. Like he's just off. Now we got some about whale heads. Like he some with a bear carcass. Like he found a bear carcass and he was just driving around with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, good. Definitely a good way to put it. Again, because it's like like I don't care how influential you are. Like there are many other powerful people and many other powerful entities. Nobody really, unless you're a complete dictator, which that's not how this works here. You're not going to go in there and be like, stop all the wars. They're going to be like, no. A whole lot will happen before the United States just ends the wars. That's not on the horizon. But yeah, he something about a whale head or something. What is this going on? Let's see. I'm just curious about what this is. Let's delve into this. Something is deeply wrong with him. Oh, for God's sake! Now RFK Jr. is cutting off whale heads. Okay, what's up with this? The barbecued goat that looked like the dog, the bear cub. Oh, I hate when stuff's written like, I don't hate it, but I just don't like when stuff's written like this. RFK Jr.'s daughter, Kit Kennedy, recounts the time her dad cut off a dead whale's head with a chainsaw. When he said he had skeletons in his closet, he was not kidding. Hold on, what does this say? This is interesting. He's a fun guy, man. You're never gonna be bored. You ain't never gonna be bored with RFK. Okay, it says her dad. What is this? Okay, her dad's career focus is environmental law, and growing up, Kick had all kinds of astonishing encounters with Mother Nature. In a 2012 interview with Town and Country, she recalled an especially colorful childhood event in which her dad, who has a thing for animal skulls and skeletons, took her down to the beach with a chainsaw to retrieve the head of a dead beached whale. They bungee corded the head to the roof of the family minivan with a 5-hour haul back home. He wanted to do a taxidermy. That's all it was. He just wanted that whale head because he has a taxidermy hobby. He says, every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and, and people on the highway were giving us the finger, but that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us. Hey, he's an eccentric guy, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're on a beach, you just got to take a whale's head with you, you know? He's an exciting man. He lives an exciting life. That's all it is. That's all it is. Can't hate on that. We still gonna wait a minute for the Trump NFTs. We still gonna wait a sec for that. We'll get into ballot initiatives and Senate races in a minute. Let's see. More than 200 former Republican presidential staffers sign open letter endorsing Harris over Trump. I mean, again, like on a day-to-day basis, it's like whatever little nooks and crannies there exist, whatever nooks and crannies there are for Donald Trump to just, dampen his chances, it's always something. But yeah, let's check this out real quick, and then we'll get into ballot initiatives and Senate races, and then soon we will get into the Trump NFTs. Because again, look, I know if you've been saving your money, dump it into Trump NFTs. They will be worth a fortune in 6 months' time. It won't be long before they're worth an absolute fortune. More than 200 former Republican presidential staffers signed open letter endorsing Harris over Trump. It seems like the Republicans are getting a little more, I guess. Well, they're not in office anymore, but they're getting a little more willing to criticize Trump in any way. More than 200 staffers for 4 previous Republican presidential nominees have endorsed Democrat Kamala Harris, her White House bid, cautioning that the notion of a second term for the GOP nominee Donald Trump is simply untenable and will hurt real everyday people. In an open letter first written about on Monday by USA Today, 238 people who worked for former President George H.W. Bush, that was a while ago, former President George W. Bush, former Arizona Senator John McCain, and Utah Senator Mitt Romney call on their fellow moderate Republicans and conservative independents to join them in backing Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, over Trump and his vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance. Quote, of course, we have plenty of honest ideological disagreements with Vice President Harris and Governor Walz, the Republicans wrote, noting the significance of a handful of battleground states that proved crucial to Democrat Joe Biden's slim margin of victory in 2020. That's to be expected. The alternative, however, is simply untenable. Signatory, and I think that this seems a bit subtle, but this is definitely going to drive a lot of secret votes for people who show up to the polls. Because again, the more Donald Trump just acts like a complete lunatic, the more he acts like a complete lunatic, the more it's like people are just, maybe not. Maybe Kamala won't be fantastic, maybe she won't be amazing, but maybe not. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah, definitely not bad thinking. I don't think they definitely don't need to publicly accept the endorsement. I don't know how they've responded to it. But hey, shit, maybe they. I don't know. I don't know. If I was an advisor, maybe I would say don't openly say thank you, but don't deny it either. I don't know. Maybe that'll help with right-leaning independents, perhaps. I mean, some of these people they listed were from the HW administration, and he was president before I was born. Because I was born in '92. That's when Bill Clinton came into office. HW was before that, so I don't really know how much of an impact this would have. Um, I don't know. I don't know how they're responding to it. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely would not publicly be like, thank you so much. But I think that it's just in terms of somewhat of a sentiment, just in terms of how Trump is really killing his campaign. Because they're like, hey, we don't agree with her on policy, but Donald Trump is just a lunatic. But yeah, that definitely would not be bad advice to not publicly accept that. Good thinking. Okay, what we got? We got some irony. We got some irony coming along. And culture admits Donald Trump needs to learn to shut the fuck up, which is true. But so I think you may need to take some of that advice yourself because yeah, the whole Gus Walls thing. As former president, Vice President as the former president, Vice President Kamala Harris and others discuss whether or not microphones should be muted during the next presidential debate. What if they weren't and Trump's just like he's just talking the whole time? If the mics aren't muted, he's just gonna be interrupting her. But again, I don't think he's gonna do it, man. I don't think he's actually gonna do it. I don't think he's gonna debate her. Yes. Yes, sir. Shit, you still a young man, Alonzo. We still young. We still young. But no, this is definitely in turn. This is probably what you're saying right here, my boy. I would say is like the most appropriate criticism of just Republicans in general right now. Like y'all can't sit here and pretend like Donald Trump is an anomaly that because you created the anomaly and it's been decades in the making. This is not something that just happened all of a sudden. This has been in the making since my whole life, as far as I can remember, maybe even since Ronald Reagan, because a lot of Ronald Reagan's appeal, because Ronald Reagan destroyed the economy. Like he did not do well for the economy. But part of his appeal was he kind of made it okay to be racist again. That's a lot of what Donald Trump's appeal is too. He's making it acceptable to be openly racist. Ronald Reagan was a lot more subtle than Donald Trump is, but then you had Newt Gingrich. When Newt Gingrich was the Speaker of the House, part of his approach was we're never going to do anything with the Democrats, no matter what it is. And that really opened the door for the extremism that is the Republican Party right now. You had I mean, the Tea Party, look at the damage that the Tea Party has done. All of this has been decades in the making. And because of that, Republicans aren't going to be able to just all of a sudden, walk away from Trumpism. There's a lot of hope on the Republican side and really even on the Democratic side too, that Republicans are going to snap out of it. Eventually they might, but it's not going to be right away. It took decades to get here. It's going to take decades to get out. It may not take 30, 40 years, but until Republicans can reinvent themselves, it's not even just the Trumpism. Like they're responsible for Roe v. Wade being reversed. They're responsible for so many negative policies that people just aren't in favor of. So yeah, definitely in terms of they're the reason you don't get to be sour now. Y'all did this to yourselves. But yeah, the Republican Party it's gonna take them a while to get away from this shit. Because there's millions of people involved with it. She says, attention, Donald Trump. The Harris campaign is demanding a rule change of not muting mics at the debates. Why? They're betting you won't shut the fuck up and will lose the debate, as you did with Biden. She tweeted on Monday, April 26. 1. Don't agree to the rule change. 2. Learn to shut the fuck up. But again, Ann Coulter could take her own advice. That was some of the wackest, lowest, desperate shit. Her and other Republicans sitting here making fun of Gus because he loves his dad. He admires his father because his father admires and wants him to do well. Loves his kid. Obviously, Tim Walz has lived a life of service, and they're like, oh, he's acting weird. Okay. Are you sure you're not just jealous because you don't have that in your life? Hold on. Speaking of Newt Gingrich, he offered a little bit of advice. He offered some advice. Um, I think his advice was for them to do a debate where they're just like asking each other questions on C-SPAN. Like, don't do it on any of the news networks. Do it on C-SPAN and just shoot the shits with each other. Just shoot the shits. No, I think that'll be much worse for Trump if he's just shooting the shits. But it would also be hilarious. So let's see. He says, well, let's listen.
I personally think that Trump should offer to debate her on CNN. I'm sorry, on C-SPAN, on a straight out no media. She gets to ask him questions. He gets to ask her questions, and go on offense, and say, look.
She gets to ask him questions, and he gets to ask her questions. Can y'all imagine? And everybody's like, okay, yes, please do it. That would be, man, that would be the most entertaining shit any of us have ever seen when it comes to a debate. I would absolutely love to see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris just, shooting the shit with each other, asking each other questions. Can you imagine what Donald Trump would say? One of the funniest things about Donald Trump is, largely the only reason that anybody pays attention to Donald Trump is because people expect him to be crazy. That's the only reason anybody wants to see him. It is because they know he's going to act a fool. That's his whole appeal. And then that's another funny thing to watch Republicans complain about that, because it's like, it's the whole reason y'all like him, because you could have went with anybody else at any point in time. You could have went with anybody else since he lost in 2020, but no, you had to stay with him because you like his shenanigans. You can't get enough of it. We got right, exactly. That's exactly what he would do. Like, so, Kamala, when exactly did you become black? Because I don't remember you as a black person, but now, all of a sudden you want to be known as black, like you said in front of, the Black Journalist Conference. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be really interesting if something like that happened. That's a good idea. We're moving into a new era, so perhaps we can, at some point organize some stuff like this. But yeah, that would be really interesting to see. That's a good idea. We should petition for some shit like this. But yeah, that would be Kamala and Donald Trump sitting down face to face. Yo, hasn't Trump been, Trump's been talking about going to Venezuela when he calls into Fox, be like, yeah, we might need to go to Venezuela. He can't help but telegraph what he's thinking about, like, oh shit, if I lose this election, I might end up in prison. He's got plans. He's definitely a flight risk. He's a flight risk for sure. MAGA enters meltdown mode with new conspiracy on Tim Walz's dog. If he'll lie about this, he'll lie about anything. I guess that's the deal. Yes, this is Tim Walz tweeting about his dog Scout. Only problem is that these are two completely different dogs. Okay. Kimberly Guilfoyle. Wait, so Walz is even lying about this dog? Rough stuff. Okay. Why would Tim Walz do this? It's creepy and weird. They trademarked it. Bro, these people suck at this, man. Like, this isn't even good trolling. Like, it's like, oh, look, I'm at the dog park with multiple dogs and I'm talking about my dog. Oh, he's a liar. He's such a liar. Tim Walz is such a great guy. Doesn't he suck? That's basically what they do. Tim Walz is great. Isn't he awful? He loves dogs. And then what's the name? Who the dog lady. Okay, let's get into some ballot tracking initiatives. Let's look at the ballots. Hold up. I got a couple of these open. We're gonna go to ballot.org. Open up the ballot. Let's see. Um, which one should we do? All right, let's go to ballot.org first. The hot sheet. Yes, Christy Noam, exactly. Thank you. But yeah, that's definitely whenever it comes up. Why is it? Oh, there we go. But yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Kamala's going to have a lot of challenges, but um, Gaza, a ceasefire in Gaza, she's gonna have to be on that like right away. People aren't gonna let her breathe with that, rightfully so. Rightfully so. But that's gonna be something that her and Tim are gonna have to be all over immediately. Um, we will see what happens, and we will hold her accountable for whatever she decides to do because sending more. But see, here's the reality of the situation, man. Like, at the end of the day, I don't really know what she's gonna do. I really don't. And like, how much can she do? You know, like like a ceasefire and less weapon sales, but is America ever going to just stop funding Israel? Like, are we ever going to stop giving them billions of dollars? It's possible, but I mean, how is that really going to take place with all the influence that they have, with APAC and just how we just reflexively give them things? That's going to be a really tough issue for her administration to navigate around because she's not going to be able to navigate around the issue of Gaza. She won't be able to do that. So, um, we'll see what happens. But yeah, she's gonna have to be on that right away. All right, let's check this out. What you need to know about the ballot measure landscape right now. As of August 21st, which was a few days ago, there are 140 measures remaining on statewide ballots in 2024. Of those measures, 78 are legislatively referred. 45 are citizen initiated. I said initiated. I got titties on my mind, apparently. 45 are citizen initiated. 13 are bond issues. 3 are advisory questions. And 1 is a constitutional convention question. While 136 of these will be placed on the November 5th, 2024 ballot, 4 other LRCAs are on Louisiana's December 7th, 2024 open general congressional election. All right, so these are the number of ballots. And this is a big map, so we're not going to go over each and everything like this. But right, Trump gonna flee to Venezuela. He's telegraphing. He's telling everybody what he's gonna do. All right, let's see. Criminal, legal, democracy, elections, governor and judiciary, direct democracy, reproductive rights. And reproductive rights, I have another thing pulled up. But abortion access is on the ballot in Missouri, Arizona, Nevada. I think Texas. I think there's a few other states as well. Progressive policies are passing at the ballot in red, blue, and purple states such as Florida, Arizona, Missouri, and Ohio. Through the power of direct democracy, the people are transforming power, advancing racial equity, and galvanizing a new progressive base. Through the power of direct democracy, citizens have passed policies such as minimum wage increases. Another thing that's on the ballot here in Missouri, November 5th, a $15 minimum wage. That's also on the ballot. Minimum wage increases, protecting and expanding reproductive freedoms, decriminalizing marijuana, paid family leave, Medicaid expansion. Missouri voted for Medicaid expansion, one of the last ballot initiatives that Missouri had, which goes to show the popularity of policies like this because Missouri is red. Missouri definitely is not gonna go for Kamala Harris. This is a red state, my friends. Taxing the wealthy, restoration of voting rights, reparations. I don't know what that means exactly. Transforming public safety. Let's see. Anti-direct democracy measures. Arizona Proposition 134. Okay, this is going into telling a little bit more about it. Hold on, I got something else pulled up that I think would be Yeah, let me pull this up because this is a lot of like maps and legends, and unless you're looking at it yourself, it can get a little tricky when you're just gazing at it through the screen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into what exactly that means because, like, when you hear the word reparations, like, it's such a broad, like, to me, I don't really like the word because it's such an instant turnoff for so many people. Reparations should be things like community investment in education and healthcare, affordable housing development, stuff like that. But like the word reparation, just it's just it doesn't do well. It just does not do well in politics when people hear that. So maybe I know, and I also know UBI has been on the has passed ballot measures in a variety of states. I know in Washington state, there's a few towns that have universal basic income. I know I'm pretty sure in California they tested that out with a homeless population in terms of I think it was like $1,000 a month or something. And it worked out really well. But yeah, the word reparations, hate it or love it, it's not it doesn't do well when people hear that. You got to talk more specific, like again, housing development, affordable housing, investment in public education, like stuff like that. We got Joe Lees. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You say, I hope that Trump doesn't have the state election members in his pocket, in his pocket, just waiting for the okey doke. Well, I think I don't know if it'll happen. What the conclusion will be, but I did see that Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia is looking at replacing the election deniers, um, which is a big deal. A lot of what we're seeing is Republicans very subtly just ready to be done with this guy. Why would Brian Kemp move to get rid of the election deniers or the election truthers, I guess, however you want to call them, from that board? Because he doesn't want it to reflect back on him. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't want it to reflect back on him. People are slowly preparing to save their own asses. Might not work that well, but yeah. He said within 6 months, most of them secured permanent housing and a job. Even though permanent housing in America is a lease. Yes, exactly, is a lease. But no, yeah, that is we may have gone over it a little bit here, but that's really and matter of fact, a lot of what we're gonna do here is a lot of what we're gonna do here. Hold on, let's see. Um, I'm looking to see what else we got. Mm, I'm high, y'all. I forgot what I was about to say. Oh yes, the ballot initiatives. We're talking about ballot initiatives. One thing that we're gonna do is, especially once the election is over, um, I'd like to really pay more attention to just local city council politics and stuff like that because a lot of cool stuff does happen. And it can help to give you um more optimism in the political process in general when you really look and realize um oh, Trump apparently has accepted the debate, but that doesn't mean he's going to do it. I just got a notification. Trump says he's accepted rules for September 10th debate, but again, that does not mean that he's actually going to end up doing it. We have yet to see. I mean, I don't even really want to read this article. We'll see. We'll see. He said that today, but the other day he's like, I don't know if I should do it. But everyone's saying, no, bro, you have to do this. You can't not do this. But again, he's really in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to this debate because he's not gonna do well at the debate. I don't I would be highly surprised if he didn't do well against Biden. He did horrible in this debate against Biden. It's just that Biden's performance sucked all the air out of the room, but he did terrible. He's not going to do well. But if he doesn't do the debate, he's going to be called a coward. Onward. Yeah, Yeah, well, we will find out soon. We will find out soon. But yeah, I don't what's he doesn't want to do it. I know he doesn't want to do it, but he kind of has to. Like, I mean, how do you not like how do you really back out of a presidential debate? Like, are you really gonna do that, man? Are you really gonna do that? We will see. But yeah, no, I think I yeah, we gonna find out. Let's do a dot. Let's bet a dollar. Let's bet a Snickers bar, Mike boy. We're gonna bet a Snicker bar. Whoever's right gets a Snickers or something like that. A Snickerdoodle. All right. So here, abortion related state constitutional amendment measures that are confirmed for the 2024 ballot as of August 23rd, 2024. So this is for confirmed 2024 ballots, 10 states, including Nebraska, for curtailing abortion. Montana, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, South Dakota, Missouri, New York, and Maryland, and Florida. Okay, we got Florida. Shit. I mean, you know, Harris is still down. She's still down in Florida, but she has more of a chance of winning Florida than somewhere like Texas at the rate stuff's going. And abortion being on the ballot could help her. Again, I don't know if she'll win Florida because it's Florida, but this could help her out. I've seen people saying like, "Oh, she's going to flip Texas." Like, yeah, no, I don't know about all that. I don't think I doubt that'll happen. But what's for certain is Kamala has more paths to victory at this point than Donald Trump does with how things are going. Abortion related state constitutional amendment measures. We got Arizona. The current abortion limit is 15 weeks. The ballot measure is to protect abortion up to the viability and to protect the life or health of the pregnant person. Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to this will definitely help her win Arizona, but I think she'll definitely probably get Arizona. I think she'll likely definitely get that, especially with this here. Colorado, I guess they're just trying to secure it. Florida, oh yeah, Florida's 6-week ban. This is citizen initiated. In Arizona, you need 50% of the vote. In Florida, you need 60%. Colorado's definitely going to vote to protect that. But what we've seen is no matter how red the state, is, um, citizens typically vote to protect abortion rights because, I mean, the polling reflects that that's what people want. Most Republicans are not in favor of these really strict abortion bans because they're crazy. Um, so yeah. Oh, and also, Trump can't stop bragging about the reversal of Roe v. Wade. You can't stop saying, everyone wanted this for 52 years. Everybody wanted this. Like, you might want to shut up about that. But he won't because he's Donald Trump. Missouri, abortion is banned here completely. Good old Missouri. Good. That's where I'm at now, born and raised. You better strap it up if you in Missouri or go to Illinois. But a lot of people can't necessarily just do that. Voters will definitely vote to protect this. 50%. Montana, you need 50%. Nebraska, you need 50%. Yeah, the abortion on the ballot in Nebraska and Florida, I mean Nebraska and Arizona, that'll definitely help out a lot. But yeah, I don't know about Florida though. Obviously, it'll pass in New York. Man, abortion that shit'll pass in all of these states. Okay, now let's check this out. Republicans are still tilted to win the Senate, but if Trump doesn't stop fucking things up for everybody, who knows? But still, they're still tended to win that. What we got? We got something from The Hill and also from 270towin.com. the Hill, they have their election forecast is at 69% that Republicans take the Senate. I'm always a little I'm hesitant to go deep into these just because I don't know exactly the methodology behind they did it, how they did it. Um, and different models show different things. But Republicans are still poised to win the Senate at this time. Now, even if the Republicans win the Senate, it is my solemn hope and wish that we get rid of Ted Cruz. Oh man, it would just be a wonderful day in America if we could get rid of Ted Cruz. I don't know about all that. That may be a bit of a stretch. We saw a recent poll where Colin Allred was only behind Ted Cruz by 2 points, I believe. It's just one poll, and in that one poll, he's still losing. So it's not like he's winning that poll. It shows him within striking distance, but Ted Cruz is one of those politicians that you know he's very unpopular with pretty much everybody, but like I don't know. I think Ted Cruz it'll be kind of hard to get rid of him. Yes, exactly. 60% of the ballot initiative is definitely anti-democratic. Um, yeah, we'll see. Right now, Republicans are still poised to win the Senate. Um, let's check this out. Let's check more of this. This is definitely good to see. Um, more programs for incarcerated people to get back on their feet in society. Very much needed. Oh God, what happened? Okay, I was about to be like, what happened? I disappeared for a second, but I'm back now. Um, our prison system is massively flawed. I'm sure you knew that. I'm like, if you're not a super violent criminal, if you're not somebody who I just can't stop taking people's lives, I can't stop assaulting people, I just can't stop abusing people. That's not most people. Most people who are in prison are there for drug related causes. Statistically, that's the majority of people in prison in America. Drug related causes, paraphernalia, using it. And then you'll have the tiers of people who are in prison because for like theft or robbery or something like that. Oftentimes because they were hooked on drugs when they were doing it or because they were younger. You have to deal with adolescents and juveniles differently than people who are in their adults. Obviously, when people are kids, there's still a lot more room for growth. There's still a lot more room for understanding and empathy. But when you start to deal with, violence, those are, at least in my opinion, those really are the people who should be in prison. Maybe not be forever, but depending on if you can't stop hurting people, I think those are the people who really should be in prison. There needs to be a lot more work with reform, but the bottom line is a lot of people who are in prison have every right, and capability to be productive members of society. And most people, man, if you spent some time in prison for a couple of years, most people don't want to do that again. Yeah, like most people really don't want to do that twice or three times or four times. So I absolutely believe that it would be not just of great benefit to people's lives if we make it easier for them to be productive members of society, but also it'll be of benefit to the economy. There's so many talented, brilliant people who are locked up who aren't there for violent crimes or they didn't take someone's life. They're not habitual assaulters. That's really who prison is for. Like, man, you just can't stop hurting people. But yes, so this is good to see right here. Is it up? Yeah, it is up. And this is right here in my state of Missouri. Women at Missouri prison earn degrees, find hope through classes from Casey University. For Vernon Roberts, earning her associate's degree means her life is not over and she can still achieve her dreams, even though she is in prison. Roberts, 39, was one of 11 who recently graduated from a college program at Chilichote, I don't know how to say it, Correctional Center. About 90 minus, 90, I said minus, 90 minutes northeast of Kansas City. It was the first class of graduates in the program launched by Rockhurst University. 5 of the graduates were prisoners, and 6 were Missouri Department of Corrections staff members, according to Craig Watts, the program's director at Rockhurst. The women's prison did not have a degree program. In 2017, the Department of Corrections approached the university about putting together a curriculum. Watts said the program falls within the Jesuit mission and that the curriculum included a traditional Jesuit foundation. And again, I mean, tax dollars is paying for people to be locked up anyway. Might as well help them be, become productive members of society, especially for stuff like this, because nobody's forcing you to get a degree. So obviously, people who go through with this, they want it. One class was taught per semester. Watts said the Rockhurst faculty members who taught the classes in the prison were as transformed as the students. Some of the participants are serving life without parole. So many people think that education is a means to a job, which it is, Watts said, but we look at it as a means to really kind of demonstrate to these students about the shared humanity that we have, about the feeling of belonging, about the feeling of acceptance in the community, and that education is that vehicle, is that opportunity to really kind of give them a sense of worth. Vernon, who was living in North Kansas City before her 2005 conviction, said one class that stood out to her was a course on criminal justice. It taught her that even though the law is written in black and white, people need to look deeper into each individual, each person, each situation. And also, too, I mean, think about how, oftentimes formerly incarcerated people end up becoming some of the best social workers in society, period, because they don't want people to go through the same shit that they did. Like I mean, being in and out of the system is some shit, man. And oftentimes, people will get to their 40s and 50s or something, and they like, man, I've been in and out of prison for 15, 20 years of my life. They don't want kids to do this, make the same decisions that they made. So there's so much opportunity and in a lot of industries. But yeah, it's no wonder that something like this stuck out. My guess, Mike Boy, is that well, at the end of the day, this has to do with funding. And my guess is that whatever that Jesuit organization is just the organization that does this. So I think that may be a testament to we need more secular organizations to do stuff like this. But typically, at least from what I've seen, like people who go where nobody else wants to, the people who deal with society's rejects, like the people that society doesn't want, that society kicks out. Usually, at least from what I've seen, are like missionary workers of some kind. That would be my guess. I don't know for sure, but my guess is it's just like that's who was there, so that's who's doing it. Would be my thinking though. In a written reflection, also, let's see. Yeah, these are some of the pictures right here. Where we go? Where was I? In a written reflection, Lisa Suter said she had been incarcerated over 30 years in 2018, the year the program began. She said, quote, tired of living the same day over and over. I had taken advantage of every opportunity here, but most doors are closed for people with my kind of time. I felt like giving up. Through the program, she was able to take English, history, science, and philosophy, among other courses. And when you take stuff like this can be so much more powerful than it seems, because all we really are is what we think at the end of the day. What we are is what and how we think about things. And what and how we think about things impacts how we see everything and how we relate ourselves to everything else. And oftentimes all you need is a bit of a different perspective for you to open up brilliance that you didn't even know you had. I think everybody has a certain level of brilliance to them. Everybody has talents that make them special. You might not know what they are, but they're there. In some capacity, they exist. In a call to the prison, she says she has tried to better herself to honor her victim and change who she is. She completed many programs, but in her decades in incarceration, participating in this one was the first time her father told her he was proud. I'll never forget that, she said. Before the program, their phone calls were short and simple. They became fun and engaging after she enrolled, and they talked about what she was learning, and he shared his experiences in school. Kansas is also a very red state. Well, this is, I guess, Kansas City, but Missouri and Kansas are both red, 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 red. So stuff like this is possible anywhere. There just has to be the right type of movements. Hold on, let's see. We got Missouri laws taking place this week. Let's check this out. What we got going on in Missouri? We got going on in Missouri right now. You said society needs some potato brains. Yes, we need, yes, exactly. You know, to keep people fresh. You know what I'm saying? If everyone's brilliant, then no one's brilliant. That's how we got to keep true equity. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's look a bit more into local law right here in Missouri. It's going slow. Ryan, you said y'all should watch, and hold on, let's say Anne Whitcomb's Most Wonderful Prisons. She visited Norway prison and damn, the recidivism rate was practically zero. Thank you. I'm gonna write that down right now, actually. I will write that down right now so that I can check that out. You said and give me a second. I'm writing this down. Whitcomb's Most Wonderful Prisons. Ooh, might look into some of that tonight, actually, because I am going to be up late tonight researching and reading and doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that. The world's most luxurious prison. Okay. Thank you. The world's most luxurious. Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you, Ryan. But yeah, I mean, our prison system just it's such a mess. It's such a mess. It's unjust, and it's just there's so much wrong with it. And again, at the end of the day, you know, unless you're somebody who just can't help but physically harm people, or you're like a chronic scammer, like I can't stop. Like, but most people in prison ain't like that. You know, there's really a lot of room to work with people. And most people don't cross the line of taking someone's life. That's not something that most people will ever come close to doing. So there's so much room. I mean, rather, yeah, there's so much room for improvement. All right, from evictions to chicken coops, these 10 Missouri laws will take effect this week. Oh, and y'all don't forget, we still got to get into the Trump NFTs. We saving the best for last. That's all we doing. We just saving the best for last. Missouri will have new laws surrounding Planned Parenthood, property taxes, chicken ownership, and more starting Wednesday, which is tomorrow, August 28th. This year's session was remarkably unproductive, as the House and Senate passed just 28 non-budget bills, a record low in the modern era. Republican infighting was a constant this election year, as voters will choose senators and legislators in November. And mind you, this is Missouri. This isn't, we're not talking about federally. A number of prominent measures died before the end of the session in May, including a bill to ban child marriage and an attempt to overhaul ballot initiative positions. Overhaul ballot initiatives. Yeah, fuck direct democracy. We don't want the people making decisions for themselves. But some measures made it to Governor Mike Parson's desk that could still affect Missourians. Here are 10 of the Missouri laws that take effect this month. Planned Parenthood funding. Public funds, including Medicaid reimbursements, can no longer go to Planned Parenthood under this new bill. For years, elected officials have attempted to defund the reproductive health care organization in various ways, including the budget and tax renewal. The new rule, SB 756, allows homeowners 62 and older to indefinitely freeze their property taxes. Oh, my bad. I went to the next one. I'm still reading like it's part of the abortion Planned Parenthood funding. Expanding senior tax credits, which allows homeowners 62 or older to indefinitely freeze their property taxes at this year's levels. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Freeze your taxes. Previously, only those eligible for Social Security could participate in the program. Now, all you got to do is be 62 and own a home. That's an improvement. Block Raymore landfill. HB 1751 effectively blocks a proposed landfill south of Kansas City by requiring the approval of additional surrounding cities to build it. Okay, landfill stuff. A ban on celebratory gunfire. You can still walk around with your guns. You can still do, you can still walk around with them. Just don't pull them out and shoot them in the air. Just don't do that. This law specifically prohibits recklessly discharging a firearm within city limits. This is so Missouri. This is the most Missouri shit ever. I like to just go outside and shoot, bang, 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 shoot all up in the sky. That's what I like to do in my work. Very Missouri. The first offense brings a misdemeanor penalty of up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000 and/or, also called Blair's Law. It is named after an 11-year-old girl who was killed by a stray bullet in 2011 in Kansas City. But this country and its guns. Did y'all see the other day? Did y'all see? Let's see. Some attack in Germany. There was some type of attack in Germany, and it was like a couple people got stabbed. Like the amazing stark difference between things that go down here versus in other countries. Like every other week here, it's like somebody running up in a school, somebody running up in a church or a supermarket, shooting things up. Bro, you remember what happened in Vegas? This dude just waltzed up into his hotel room with guns, like all the guns, and just sat there for like 10 minutes, just shooting everybody up, just gun after gun, round after round, just like that doesn't happen in places like Germany, London, France. It doesn't happen. Like you get breaking news stories because 3 people got stabbed. That is a massive difference. Higher penalty for attacking or killing a police animal. No arrest warrant for unpaid traffic violations. SB 754 also prohibits courts from issuing an arrest warrant for failure to pay or appear in court for a traffic violation. Yeah, good. That is definitely good because that is some BS, man. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, people are struggling, and people no. You get a bench warrant, you end up getting arrested. Now you owe even more money. Now you're in even more of a predicament. So this is good. Charging minors as adults will raise the minimum age a child can be charged as an adult for some felonies from 12 to 14. 2 years, 2 years up. Establish an office of entrepreneurship. The Department of Economic Development will establish an office of entrepreneurship with one staff member. The goal of the goal of the office is to support businesses with less than 10 employees, including those of marginalized groups like racial minorities, veterans, and women. One staff member. Housing and urban HOAs can't block chicken ownership. Prohibits the homeowners associations from banning small flocks of chickens. This is another very Missouri thing. HB 2062 prohibits homeowners associations from banning small flocks of chickens. Neighborhood groups can ban roosters or groups of more than 6 birds, but if they chickens, you can't do it. You got to make sure it's a rooster. I know a rooster when I see one. What is okay? Here we go. Like I know a rooster when I see one. All right. Is it time Do we even need to? Nah, we don't. We already know this. Just a headline of, well, not a headline. This goes into the details too. But basically, over half of Kamala Harris's donors had not given any money to Joe Biden. So the Harris campaign has built um, a completely new coalition around itself. Maryland's Senate race is deadlocked. Don't need to do that. Don't really need to do that. It is time, y'all. It is time to get into the NFTs. Let's get into the NFTs. Look, if you got some spare change lying around, you might want to invest it in Donald Trump's NFTs. If you haven't bought any of them before, you're missing out. You're missing out bigly. So let's get into it. Man, this thing tripping. I'm gonna have to get a new laptop or something. I'm gonna have to get a new laptop. This thing is tripping a little bit. Crypto president Donald Trump just launched his 4th collection of NFTs. Buying enough digital cards can get you a piece of the suit he wore to debate Joe Biden in June. What? This is the most Catholic shit I've ever seen in my life. This is like what are they, like the relics, the old relics that people would, buy and sell, like fraudulent. We're like, this was the piece of the robe of Jesus. This is a cup that Jesus drank out of. The Catholic Church, they still be doing that. But how religious is this, right? This is such a religious thing. You can get a piece of the suit he wore if you buy enough. Oh my, this is such a cult. It's such a cult, man. You can get a, oh, look at him. He got the freshies on. The sneakerhead, the greatest of all time NFT. Let's see. I'm trying to see pictures of him. Well, let's get into this video. Hopefully it doesn't act all slow and choppy, because right now it's acting a bit slow and choppy. But yeah, no, let's go ahead and get into the commercial. Let's get into the NFT commercial. Hold on, y'all, give me a sec. I gotta watch it on somebody else's channel because I couldn't find the commercial on True Social or whatever. So this is also some why I saved this for last, because I'm gonna play this from somebody else's page. Oh, come on. Thank you. I'm gonna play this from somebody else's page. Can you stop acting so slow, please? Why is it doing this to me? Just give it a sec, y'all. I'm sorry, everybody. Can you please stop? Here we go. Okay, now it's time. We got it. We got it. Let's check it out. Ah! I should have played it first, because it's doing the thing, man. It's doing the thing. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do?
President Donald J. Trump
Hey, actually, it might be even better to watch it like this.
with some very exciting news by popular demand.
Well, whatever. It's whatever's going on. You know what? I think you said run. Hold on. Let me do that. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna update it on stuff like this. I might have to move to StreamYard. StreamYard's better anyway in terms of some of the capabilities it can have. But this has now been happening for like the last 3 streams. It wasn't happening before that. But it's acting like it's overheating or something. But I have it elevated today, so that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, no, y'all gotta check out that video yourselves, because we can't watch it here because it's tripping. Hold on. What did you say? Civitas Vox. You said private Zer. Yeah, I'll write that down. Private ZR. Get that. But yeah, I'm gonna run some type of sweep or something. See if I can clean that up because again, this is the third. This is like the I think at least the third stream that this has happened. I should have played the video at the beginning of the stream. If I would have played it at the beginning of the stream, it would have been working. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's see. You said Streamlabs to OBS. Okay, yeah, definitely. I've heard OBS is great. It's just harder to use, but hard to use is not impossible to use. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to either StreamYard or OBS. I'll check that out. But before I do that, I'm going to see if I can just clean up the laptop a little bit or something. And hopefully this doesn't happen again because we've been missing out on some good content because of it. But thank y'all for joining me. Nonetheless, we went for almost an hour and 50 minutes today. We had a very fun stream. The bottom line is Republicans are in massive denial about the situation that they are in. And Kamala is looking like she's going to win. But when she does, she's going to have some big tests. She's going to have some massive tests. Pretty much right away, Gaza is going to be an issue really her whole campaign. But she's going to have to get a ceasefire done pretty immediately. If Joe Biden doesn't do it before he's out, which I don't, I'm definitely not holding my breath about Joe Biden getting the ceasefire done. Maybe he will as like a last final look what I did. But again, not holding my breath about that. But if he doesn't do that, then Kamala and Walz, they're going to have to do that like ASAP, like pretty much as soon as they get in office, they're going to have to get a ceasefire done and they're going to have to stop giving them weapons. And really get Netanyahu out of here. But again, that's a very complicated issue. Yet and still, even after the ceasefire happens, we still give tons and tons of taxpayer money to Israel, and we still, pretty much bend over backwards for whatever they want. So, good point right here. Yeah, they're kind of acting like they want him to lose in a lot of ways, but I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow. It's only Tuesday. I'm streaming again tomorrow. And y'all have a fantastic evening. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, Queen Fritza, for the 11 months of membership. Thank you, Jolise and Virginia, for the super chats today. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all have a good night.